Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my distinct pleasure to rise in the House to speak on a unique and historic budget. Budget 2017, Building a Strong Middle Class, paints a clear picture of our government's priorities. These priorities include investing in skills and innovation, infrastructure, and establishing a fair tax system. It also includes a comprehensive listing of new programs and initiatives and how they will help middle-class Canadians succeed. It provides an accurate picture of the economy and the fiscal anchors we are using to help guide us. Most importantly, it outlines an aspirational vision of what we together are building, an inclusive, diverse nation ready to excel in the economy of tomorrow with a plan that works for the middle class, our most valuable economic engine. But, Madam Speaker, it is 2017, and it's well past time that Canada's feminist government put the full weight of our intentions in writing. Budget 2017's gender statement represents the government's first comprehensive effort at reporting on gender-based analysis of budgetary measures. It is a real opportunity to show how we considered and prioritized outcomes for women. Madam Speaker, I know the honourable members in this House do not need to be convinced that this work is essential, because it is. And I know I do not need to remind you that the effort we are taking to promote women isn't about partisanship. With this gender statement, we are challenging the basic assumption that budgets are always gender neutral. They haven't always been, and we mean to change that. In fact, we need to change it. In this period of slow economic growth, empowering women to become economic drivers equal to that of men would have real and positive effects on our economy. Let's consider the facts. Recent history has shown that as women have become more educated and more established in the workforce, Canada's economy and the incomes of both men and women have grown. Canadian women are among the most educated in the world and make up 47% of the labour force. Yet women are still paid less than men in exactly the same positions. And compared to gender wage gaps in countries similar to Canada, our record is less than stellar. Women are also less present in certain sectors, particularly the trades. Conversely, they are overly employed in lower-paying occupations. Executive-level positions are most often held by men. On company boards, women are a minority. Most important of all, we know that women and girls are more likely than men to experience poverty, violence, and harassment. As policymakers, it is our obligation to consider and take action to address the inherent bias that persists in these areas, not only because it makes economic sense, but because it's the right thing to do. Well, before Budget 2017, our government started taking action on gender-based challenges. This includes increasing the Guaranteed Income Supplement top-up benefit to boost support for the most vulnerable seniors, who are disproportionately women. This year, we go much further with actions that focus on innovation, inclusive, and sustained growth for women and all Canadians. That includes $7 billion towards early learning and childcare and over $11.2 billion for a national housing strategy over the next 11 years. Madam Speaker, before I had the honour of being elected to serve in this House, I was a municipal councillor for close to a decade. I'm proud that this budget continues the work from Budget 2016 in providing the support communities need to grow in a sustainable and inclusive way. Public transit and truly affordable housing are critical infrastructure for communities like Pickering and Uxbridge. Just this previous weekend, the Prime Minister announced that more than 300 projects have been approved in Ontario under the Public Transit Infrastructure Fund. Through this fund, the region of Durham received over $17.5 million in federal support. That means residents in Pickering and Uxbridge, including students and seniors, will be better able to access important community facilities, services, and workplaces. The Prime Minister also announced that our government will invest more than $1.8 billion in GO Transit Regional Express Rail project in the Greater Golden Horseshoe area. These investments are shortening commute times, decreasing air pollution, and growing our economy. Madam Speaker, I'm also proud that Budget 2016 will fund a national housing strategy that provides a roadmap for governments and housing providers across the country. This has been a major priority for our region of Durham. This strategy will focus around a renewed partnership between the government and our provincial and territorial partners while creating a new $5 billion National Housing Fund to address critical housing issues and better support for vulnerable citizens. In 2017, we all must do our part to combat and prevent homelessness. Budget 2017 takes an important step in addressing this issue by renewing and expanding federal investments. One of the areas in this budget that I'm most proud of, Madam Speaker, is the investments and support that we're providing to young people. Back home, I speak with residents regularly who want the government to create the conditions for young people to succeed in our economy. Budget 2017 will see the launch of an ambitious initiative to support up to 10,000 new work-integrated learning and co-op opportunities per year. This investment will help ensure more young Canadians are able to get the skills and experience they need to attain that well-paying career after they graduate. As a member of the Standing Committee on Finance, I was particularly proud of this budget's work on creating a fairer tax system. Canadians agree that building a fairer, more inclusive society includes raising taxes on the wealthiest individuals and closing tax loopholes that disproportionately benefit the richest Canadians. I want to thank the Minister of National Revenue for accepting all of the Finance Committee's recommendations on combating tax evasion and aggressive tax avoidance schemes. Last year's investments in the CRA to crack down on tax evasion and avoidance has already been working. Budget 2017's additional investment in supporting the CRA's work to crack down on tax evasion and combat tax avoidance is expected to have a revenue impact of $2.5 billion over 5 years. Madam Speaker, that's expected to yield a return on investment of 5 to 1. It's also in addition to a number of actions that strengthen the integrity of our tax system. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the investment of $30 million in Budget 2017 to complete, enhance, and maintain the Trans-Canada Trail in partnership with provinces and individual Canadians. This is of particular importance to me because Uxbridge, a community that I am proud to represent, has been named Canada's Trail Capital of Canada. This is a point of pride for my community, and I'm thrilled to know that more Canadians will be able to enjoy our trails and natural scenery. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Questions and comments? Questions.